fantasy matchup time. Evander Holyfield versus David Haye. A cruiserweight or heavyweight? The person who left this suggestion, I don't think they stipulated whether it would be a cruiserweight or heavyweight, but let's just say it's going to be a cruiserweight, because Holyfield he's widely regarded as the greatest cruiserweight of all time, and David Haye is widely regarded as one of the greatest cruiserweights of all time. So let's say it happened at cruiserweight. I think David Haye was better at cruiserweight anyway. I think his prime was at cruiserweight, so let's make it a cruiserweight fight. It's interesting. It's very, very interesting. Holyfield had a much better work rate than David Haye. He was a much more complete fighter than David Haye. He had better balance. He was a better combination puncher. Hand speed wise, Holyfield was very quick. He's very, very underestimated. If you go look at a prime Holyfield, even look at the Buster Douglas fight where he only weighed like 204, 205 pounds. So he was still a cruiserweight basically, by modern day standards anyway, because back when Holyfield was actually fighting in the cruiserweight division, the cruiserweight limit was lower than it is today. Today it's like more or less 200 pounds or 201 pounds. I think it's 200 pounds. Back then it was like 190 pounds or something like that. But by today's standards, even when Holyfield fought Douglas, he would have been a cruiserweight. So let's say it was the 200 pound limit. You know, Holyfield was quick. He wasn't a slow guy. And I would say people underestimate his speed. I would say he's quicker than David Haye in terms of combination punching anyway. He's quicker than David Haye. Holyfield was also much more versatile than David Haye. Holyfield was very good on the inside. He could fight on the outside. He could stick and move. He could bang with you. We saw him obviously up at heavyweight, go toe-to-toe with people like Riddick Bowe, who was a very big puncher. Went toe-to-toe with Lennox Lewis, toe-to-toe with Tyson, toe-to-toe with George Foreman. So going toe-to-toe or swapping shots with David Haye wouldn't be a problem. David Haye would have certainly been one of the faster fighters that he fought, but certainly no faster than Tyson, even though Tyson was, a bit past his best when he fought Holyfield. Holyfield was past his best himself. That wasn't prime Holyfield who beat Tyson. So if you're looking at Holyfield at cruiserweight, he was very sharp, very quick, not easy to catch. Reach-wise, I think David Haye maybe had slightly longer arms, even though the reach of Haye and Holyfield is about the same. The reach measurement, as I've explained many times in many videos, is different than the arm length measurement. And I think David Haye probably had a bit longer arms than Holyfield, and the way he fights, the ambush style, jumping in with shots, it emphasizes the length of his arms. He's not a guy like Holyfield who will stay in range and swap shots with you. You throw this, I block it, I counter with this punch. David Haye's not like that. David Haye stays right out. He's either all the way out or all the way in. And when he's all the way in, he's unloading shots and then he's getting out again. He's not a guy who stays in firing range and swaps shots with you. And I think that he would have got found out against Holyfield. I think Holyfield's engine was too good. His variety was too good. And I think he would have forced David Haye to work harder than he wanted to work. And I wouldn't be surprised if Holyfield actually stopped David Haye in a cruiserweight fight. I wouldn't be surprised if he stopped him. Maybe stopped him around the 8th or 9th round. It'd be a good fight. David Haye might buzz him, might catch him, might even drop him on one of those big right hands. Holyfield always had a good chin, but you could catch him. You could catch Holyfield. And I know it was late in his career, but John Ruiz dropped him. And obviously earlier on in his career, he was dropped by Burt Cooper, but Burt Cooper was a tremendous puncher. Despite the fact he was a journeyman, you listen to Oliver McCall, the guy who was Mike Tyson's sparring partner for many years, he said that Burt Cooper hit him harder than Tyson ever did in a sparring session. Right? And he sparred, I guess, hundreds of rounds with Tyson, and he said the hardest he was ever hit in sparring was by Burt Cooper, not Tyson. So make it out what you will. So Holyfield could be hurt, obviously. David Haye might have caught him with a shot here or there and buzzed him, but we've seen Holyfield, he's got his tremendous powers of recovery, and he would have recovered, in my opinion, and taken David Haye out down the stretch. I reckon a 9th or 10th round stoppage for Evander Holyfield. After maybe a fairly bright start for David Haye, jumping in and out with shots, using his jab here and there when he needed to, in terms of 1-2 combinations and whatnot. But I think he'd get found out. His lack of competence on the inside, his lack of stamina, his lack of variety. He's a bit of a one-trick pony. I think Holyfield's work rate, his determination, his variety, combination punching ability. Holyfield had a very good jab too, better balance than David Haye. And Holyfield was a very good counter puncher. That's one thing I have to say. Very, very good counter puncher. Very sharp on the counter. And I think that would have been a flaw that Holyfield would have exploited in terms of David Haye's poor balance, because David Haye will jump in, lunge in with shots, leave himself off balance. But because Holyfield's such a good counter puncher, he would have made David Haye pay. Whereas other people like Vladimir Klitschko, who isn't really a great counter puncher, he allowed David Haye to get away with that when they fought, you know. But I don't think Holyfield would, and I would take Holyfield to stop David Haye at around 9th or 10th round if they fought a cruiserweight. But drop your comments below. How do you see this fantasy matchup going? It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.